Hello, everybody. This is Larry, Weekly Contest 120 Leetcode. Let's get it started. Wish me luck. 15 seconds. Oops. Oh, snaps. 10 seconds. Yeah. Be sure to hit the like button, hit the follow button, subscribe button, hit all the buttons, keep on hitting stuff. I'll be, the other Larry will be with you. Let's go. Cool. Yeah. So first problem, immediately I looked at this. I mean, it just seems like follow the rules problem, right? Like there's nothing tricky with the rules. Implementation is a little trickier, at least for me, as you'll see. But in terms of the rule set and like what you're supposed to do, there's there's no ambiguity. You just kind of think about how to implement it. I thought about a couple of ways to kind of implement it, like character by character, and then like doing backward lookup or whatever. But I didn't really land on a good clean way to do it. So I just figured I'd do a split on the hashtags, and then just do it one by one, and then the prefixes are all going to be single characters, and that's how I end up proceeding to do it. Though I had a lot of trouble doing this, to be honest, as you'll see. And also, I think I mean, a good amount of that is also language familiarity, as you'll see, because I had off by once with just like the indexing in Python, which is something that I've been weak at, and I really need to get better at it because I keep on giving away minutes. Where I mean, I think I need to also just make up my mind, right? Like I try to do these cute things with negative indexes, but like if you know yourself and you know you're going to be weak at it, then just it's like one more line to convert it from like the size of the array minus 2 or whatever, and then like and some of this is just I have too many decades of using quote unquote C indexing style. You so so I would have been cleaner with that, but that's fine. It is what it is. But I knew I mean, I knew how to do it. It still took me almost 8 minutes to submit this one, which is a little sad. Eh. But yeah, maybe that is something to practice about. So one thing about this contest that I just had issues with is that, as you see, I do all my testing, all my coding, everything on the Leetcode website, and using their compiler and testers and stuff like this. And that is actually going to be a little bit tricky for this contest because I guess I don't know, they were just having uh, server issues. Well, and I have off by one issue, so this one I would not blame on them. But you'll see what I will blame on them later. But yeah, that one I cannot blame on them. But I just have off by one, so that was definitely an issue. And I end up spending a couple of minutes debugging the off by ones, and I had to print it out because I was like, oh yeah, the negative index was confusing. Well, both the negative index and the second element of which is the n index versus the length index, which is something that I mean, I've talked about this before in other contests. I still get confused. I need to be better, maybe practice more or something. Whatever it is, this is like a way, like giving away 3 minutes is always kind of not great unless you're a phone company or something. But yeah, and here I noticed that um, I well, here now I'm like 4 minutes in, 3 minutes in. I'm like, actually, technically, this is mostly good, except for that I'm trying to figure out how to handle the case where the last number is doesn't have a hashtag, right? And I was like, oh, maybe. Yeah, I was thinking in my head like how to do it, and there's really not that much to it, I don't think. I just added a send note at the end. Also, there are still additional off by ones that I just happen to be lucky for that problem. So yeah. So I had to be way for, and I don't know, just not great at it, to be honest. Definitely could have a little better. But first of all, yeah, I did the send note. Um, but I would also say that I'm very lucky in that the test cases tell me what's wrong, because what you don't want, I mean, or like worst luck is if not having off I ones are bad in general, but that's my fault, right? That's not luck. But lucky is like you have an off by one, but the example test didn't catch it, and you're just like, oh, it's easy. Let me just submit, and then it'd be wrong. But yeah, as you kind, yeah. And I keep having these things, and I just wasn't quite sure. But the real reason, I mean, I didn't know it at the time when I was thinking about it and looking at the code. So I ended up doing the old school thing of printing everything out. But yeah, and you see, and if you know Python, then you'll be like, oh, what is Larry doing? And I agree with you, because I am thinking about that right now. What is Larry doing? Oh, you little rascal. Um, yeah, it turns out that just because my indexing was wrong, really. It's not. There's no rocket science here. Um, I mean, looking even at this, I was like, wait, I'm missing some stuff. Don't tell me. Uh, yeah. I think I was also trying to. Right now, my error was that I was also trying to do an offset of an additional one because I was trying to get rid of the hashtag. But then I forgot, obviously, that when you split, you don't get the hashtag, so I didn't have to worry about it. I mean, I think like at some point knew about it, but then I don't know, I just didn't. Um, I was too distracted. I don't know if distracted is the right word. I just didn't really get the hang of it. But I spent so much time. Uh, and at this point, like a couple of people already finished 3 problems after I finished this one problem, which is kind of crazy. But better than wasting 5 minutes, I guess, in terms of like getting a bad penalty. Because even if you think about it, I mean, I took it 8 minutes, which is long, but it's like, what's my expected value if I was like, a little bit YOLO about it, right? 3 minutes plus a penalty. Like if I try to rush it, like 5 minutes with like, I don't know, 60% of getting a penalty is probably like the break even, right? So I don't feel that bad about it. I'm okay. I mean, obviously it could be better, but when can't you do better, right? Um, but this is when I was like, what is going on? The pending and the judging, everything is so slow in this contest. I'm kind of half timing it now, and it took like 20 seconds each time, and that's just not great. So slow. But yeah, XOR queries of a subaway. So this problem, I kind of had an immediate idea about it. I mean, it ended up taking me about 4 minutes, um, but and probably like a good amount of that 4 minutes is just testing. If you and not testing, but the server being really slow, and that's something that I have to figure out. If I want to move on to like do some local testing or something like that. But this is something that watch with me and we'll see. But yeah, the idea here is the same as kind of you think about XOR or regular prefix sum of like the sum digits of like, okay, the index of the I. So you just have a pre-cache array or pre-calculated array of the first X element being the sum of the first X element, give it -1 beta, right? And then from that, then you could calculate every left and right just by taking the right and then subtract it from the left prefix, right? So that's kind of the idea, except for we do it with XOR instead of regular sum. And you could prove to yourself why that is the case. But that's how I did it. Essentially, and I did it pretty quickly. I think I had it off by 1. Oh, no, I didn't have it off by 1, but I used the wrong array. That was kind of silly. But yeah, instead of using the prefix array, I used the regular array. And then I was like, oh, okay, where's the off by, like, which, like, yeah, you don't want to include the left. So yeah, which way is it? And I go this way, like, okay, let's go. And this took a long time. So that was on my clock. Let's see. I'm just waiting. And it's been, and just to get a wrong answer too. So that's kind of sad. But that took 24 seconds, right? That is too long for the system. And yeah, and here I was like, wait, why is this wrong? Did I have an off by one again? And then luckily, I think, I was, I was just like double checking some stuff. But I think luckily I saw the, yeah, the prefix thing, and then, and this is mostly already done. Let's see how long this time it takes. And here I'm copying and pasting it to externally just so that just in case I need to refresh or something. I'm just like half looking at the other problem. I thought this one was doable. I mean, I'll give my impressions when I finally get to it. So okay, that finished. I looked at the things. So that ended up taking another 20 seconds. So 2 tests took 46 seconds. That's like how long some people submit this problem or another problem like it. So that is not good enough. But and of course, I wanted to add an additional test. I don't know why I added this test, because this test probably in retrospect adds no value, but I just want to test the n equals 1 case. I didn't think I worried that much about it, but I wanted to be safe. But let's see, it cost me another 20 something seconds. Then yeah, and the other Larry's like, no, frustrated. I'm reading this right now. I'm like, okay, it's graph form. But to be honest, when I'm not good at looking at multiple forms at the same time. When I looked at this form, I kind of read it and saw. I mean, obviously I saw the graph because you see a graph, but I really didn't have any idea how to do it. And this is still judging. That's been 20 something seconds, and then it got submitted. Then I closed it immediately. Now I finally watch reading this form, getting watch videos by friends, and yeah, and I think this is also pretty kind of straightforward-ish. Many people got it in a couple of minutes, and yeah, I mean, it's pretty straightforward. Basically, my idea was just to, yeah, my idea, no one else's idea. Now, but as soon as I knew this, I was like, I read this, I was like, yeah, it was probably breath first search because the levels are the closest distance, and each edge is unweighted, or weight is equal to 1. So that's, my big, hey, let's do a breadth first search. So I knew I would do it immediately, and I do that. I did spend a good amount of time reading this, just to kind of make sure I get it right. But yeah, I mean, I think as soon as I start coding, I knew what I was doing. Though I did unfortunately have a silly mistake. Okay, but I guess I don't start coding yet. I just wanted to make sure that I'm not missing anything. And actually, I did have some confusion because the friends list, I wasn't sure that it were given an adjacency list or some sort of an edge list. Because if you look at it, it could have gone both ways maybe, but I wasn't sure. That's all. But yeah, I mean, I think mostly my first, like I didn't do that much debugging on this one, so that's good. The only issue is again, Leetcode server was very slow, so we'll see again because if you do the math and maybe up to date, I spent about a minute and a half, maybe close to 2 minutes, on the first two problems just on testing alone. So that's a big penalty. Versus someone who's doing it locally. And maybe that should be the expectation. I don't know. I think I read the examples and it said you have ideas equal to 0. So I just put 0 here, but then I was like, am I sure? And I look at it again. I'm like, oh, the ID is is an input. Okay.
Oh, ID.
And I don't like using ID as a variable name in Python. It's one of the keywords E thing. I mean, it's also a function. So I took some time to edit this. Not a big deal, relatively. Yeah, and the rest of this is kind of I'm on autopilot. Oh yeah, and here I thought we're getting an edged list. So I was going. Oh, I thought we were going to get a list of edges. So I was going to convert it to an adjacency matrix, or no, an adjacency list. Um, but I looked at, read the problem again. I'm like, oh, this is actually already a list of friends. I think I'm okay. Wasn't sure. Just had to read. Yeah. Yeah, now I'm just keeping track, thinking about how to what to do when you relax it. The obvious thing is to relax your friends, but also that if it's on the same level, might as well do it now. And then we just look at for each of those, we add it to the counter. Um, and then we just check our friend's friend, and then that's pretty much it. Pretty straightforward. Fortunate to be, though there is a typo here. See if you could spot it before I fix it. Yeah. I think here I took a quick look at the sorting just to make sure. I and this is where I did a silly thing where well the problem asks you to sort by if they're tie sorted alphabetically. I did not, so that was a little sad because that cost 5 minutes. Probably should have tested, but I think this one was kind of the opposite of the other two problems where I was just so confident, and also testing was slow. So I think I was a little, to be honest, I think looking back, I was probably a little bit tilted by the testing speed as well, and I was just a little frustrating by the testing speed, because that took about, yeah, you could see his face that he's not happy. That took about 22 seconds or so, uh, and I see a one-time error. I'm like, oh yeah, that typo. Uh, yeah, I mean, very easy typo. But yeah, because the oh my. I took a look at this problem. I knew how to do it immediately. It's a problem that I've seen before, so I was like, okay, this is okay. I don't have to like, do anything crazy. Let's see how it's done. Though it's still going. It's been like 25 seconds, so that's a little sad. But yeah, so as soon as I saw it, I was like, okay, that's just a minute, and I got wrong answer unfortunately because of that. And
Have you watched
immediately
this
I
one
did not know what it
because
was. So I wanted to
this one code
run
has
it,
been super slow.
but then I took a look at the expected, and I was in my mind. This is tricky because you never know, but the good thing about Leetcode is that they tell you your test case that you got wrong.
I
So
agree.
me,
Yeah.
so I was like, oh, I looked at the problem again. It's like, oh, I probably didn't sort. I mean, I don't know if this was going to solve this problem, but I knew that this was a problem I didn't solve, right? So let me sort by alphabetically as the tiebreaker, and then let's run it again. And then he is very frustrated. And I think that's contributed to the first time of submission. Maybe I could have tested more if I wasn't
People
yeah,
already
if I
done
wasn't
this. Is a pretty straightforward
so slow
problem.
about it. But yeah, right now, like I knew what to do, so I was just setting up the initialization array for the dynamic programming. I actually don't know when I go back, but double check, and then I was like, okay. And to be honest, it took me an extra like couple of seconds to be like, oh, is that the right thing? I got it accepted finally.
Dumb
But
mistake.
yeah, the testing is something that I have to be better about playing around. I mean, it's fine, but it's fine for learning. But yeah, I know what to do with this immediately. And the short story is that, this is a famous-ish poem, I want to say, maybe not. I mean, and it's one of those. Well, I mean, if you look at the submissions time, a lot of people know this one, but it's also feel like one of those poems where if you don't know how to solve it, maybe it's really hard. Um, but but yeah. But it's just basically it's the longest common subsequence of a string and the reverse string, and then you just do some math on it depending on what it asks. I think I actually end up spending some time, and I have some off by ones because I'm still learning how to do dynamic programming in Python. I'm very good at well, I'm decently good at it in C, but I yeah. I mean, essentially though, like I'm done at I end up spending about another 4 minutes. I mean, I didn't really time myself, but which is unfortunate because I have some typos, and I wasn't sure what I should have looked at the prompt to see what it was asking, but yeah, and I was just putting more things. But so I think I solved what is the string of the I don't remember what I solved actually. I think this is actually okay. It's just maybe I was off by something. Oh yeah, times by 2 or something. But yeah, I had to convert it back to a string, which is annoying, to be honest. Mostly because, I mean, it's not that bad, but like if I was doing it locally, it's not that bad, but it's just like it takes so long to judge, as you can see. I had the wrong answer, so I just want to make sure that the good thing about Python is that you could print out the matrix really quickly. But I was like, oh, look at the problem, that doesn't make sense. So I wanted to do this instead. After reading the problem, I wanted to see if this would solve it. But yeah, it's refreshing to see how fast people do it. I'm like, wow, people are already done, which is not surprising really. But I'm also on the home stretch, and I spend a lot of time on the easy. I want to put it away because and I think the way I mentally structure it when I do it in C is a little bit different than how I structure it when I do it in Python. So that's the discrepancy that I'm trying to be better about. And also I copy and paste and I didn't think about that one. So yeah, and I think I end up printing the DP away. Yeah, and I'm taking so much time. Though I think it got slightly faster. Looking at the array, I was like, oh yeah, I just have off by 1 because you could see the last row in the last column doesn't get populated. I could have solved that in a couple of different ways, but I chose this way, which I still have to fix another one. But that's mostly it. I mean, I have struggled a little bit with off by ones, but yeah. So overall, anytime you finish a contest in 24 minutes, I feel like or 25 minutes, I feel like I'm happy about it, even if it's a little bit on the easier side, and even if the first problem was a little tricky for me, just to get a lot of silliness, but also I spent like 2-3 minutes just waiting for these pending tests on this problem, especially during the middle. So that's unfortunate. But I would also say that for a problem that I already know how to solve, I probably should be a little bit faster on the hard. But some days, things outside your control per se. I mean, maybe it's inside my control in the sense that, like I said, I could do some local compiling and stuff like that, right? But it is what it is. And there are different ways I could have done this. I could have just done a max over the entire matrix instead. But I was like really focused on just getting it right, in the sense that like I don't want to fix. There it is. I mean, I guess it would have been okay, but I don't want to fix it just for this problem. I want to do it in a right way because I'm trying to be better at dynamic programming, right? So I want to just do it the right, correct way in general. And another way I could have done it is just off what I usually do, and is that I start from the index 1 to n, and then I do the subtract on the string comparison, which is why everything is like a little off. And I could submit, and I was just like waiting for it to be done, and then fingers crossed. But good. Anyway, I don't know. A lot of silly mistakes. Yeah. Probably should have. I mean, well, the 5 minutes is unfortunate. Also, just compiling time was slow, and I was really slow on the Yeezy. I guess this isn't updated, but it also doesn't have the China servers, I think. So probably take some time. Though I think as of finishing, I'm top 20, but I have to wait 5 minutes because of this silly sorting penalty, which I should have known. But yeah, I mean, overall a good contest for me. I think I definitely could have done better. I think I knew how. I think Leetcode was just really slow today, and it doesn't. My workflow is a little. I think the really good people, and these people who like they could multitask, and they're like, okay, let me run the test and then work on another problem. I still have some trouble doing that for now. Maybe if I was younger, but yeah. Otherwise, so definitely like I feel like I could have gotten like 4 minutes off just from that, but also the 5 minutes was just silly because I just forgot to sort. But yeah, let's go over the problems and then we'll see where I end up. But overall, good contest. It's yeah. I mean, I'm not surprised you got it in a minute. This is a pretty known problem. Cool. Decrypt straight. This is actually the one that, looking back, this one took me the longest time. Because some of the other time I was just mostly like going back and making sure I submit for the other ones, right? But this one took the longest time for me because I just have off by, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I could figure out a better way to handle this actually. I mean, maybe there's a cleaner way of writing it, but what I do is just I just delimit it by the hashtag, and then just pause everything before that, and then I added a no at the end, and then just remove the no. Yeah, and that's pretty much it. But yeah, pretty straightforward, except for that it's a little tricky to do the edge cases right, at least for me anyway, because people still, I mean, seems like people did it in 3-4 minutes, which is like slower than the recent easy. So I don't feel that bad about it. Though though AY finish almost 3 problems before, or almost 4 problems before I finish this one. But XOR occurs of subarray. So I mean, this is a straightforward prefix sum, except for the sum is XOR instead of regular sum, and I think. This is a little bit tricky because it pre-assumes that behaviors of the XOR function, and for me, I mean, I kind of got that sense, and some of it is that the naive is n squared, and you can't really do an n squared, right? So you have to do something like that. I think another alternate way of doing it in perhaps n log n is probably like using a segment tree or something like that, but you don't need to because you have this prefix thing where, yeah, and then you kind of just chop up at the beginning and then just subtract the XOR subtract, I guess, the stuff that's before that, and then you kind of do it that way. That's how I did it. I mean, this is a very hit or miss medium, so I think that's a little kind of like, it's easy for a lot of people, but it's also hard for a lot of people because, you have to prove yourself XOR stuff. So that is a tricky problem. But yeah, but that's what I have for now. Maybe ask questions in the comments if you have. Get watch videos. I mean, this is a really straightforward breadth first search type thing. Maybe you could, no, I was gonna say maybe you could do depth first search, but now you need breadth first search. But other than that, it seems pretty straightforward. I didn't even do anything that crazy. And n is 100, so you could get away with being just a little bit lazy even because. I mean, well, because this is going to be v plus e, where and maybe plus sorting of some sort, but so v plus e, which is quote unquote linear, plus sorting if you do it. I mean, you probably maybe to do something fancier with counting sort if you really want to quote unquote optimize the complexity. But yeah, with n square being way more than fast enough, I didn't really worry about it. I just kind of go for it. I remember the alphabetic part. That's what a crappy 5 minutes it happens. But I knew about it. But then I think because I was so angsty that like it because it took legitimately 10 seconds every time I do one code, maybe even 20 seconds, and that added a lot of time, and I was just a little frustrated. I think I sneaked a little bit to the last problem, and I knew how to do this immediately. I mean, in theory, it took 5 minutes, but I was just being ultra careful. I also had it off by one, but uh, but yeah, really simple problem. And I'm not surprised that like very good people got it in like well, in like 2 3 minutes. But yeah, let's see if my rank updated. 58. I mean, yeah. I mean, I think there's a lot of lag to this updating, so I guess I would not have made it to top 25 anyway. Um, but I don't know how these. Maybe that count factors in the Chinese servers. I don't know. The ranking is always a little weird. But yeah, but generally, clearly I could have done better, but not gonna beat myself that much over it. I think I just and also the conditions I feel like weren't great for me in the terms of like all the testing stuff. Uh, I think if I'm really hardcore about it, I would probably do it locally and test things locally. But it's fine, not big of a deal. Just trying to figure out how to optimize my learning, and I think there are a couple of minutes. I mean, obviously 5 minutes here is silly, but there are a couple of minutes here and there that I don't count against myself per se because of how slow the testing is on Leetcode, and that's just my general process. I mean, I'm not, I'm still focusing on learning and not necessarily optimizing for leaderboard. Though that would be nice. Don't get me wrong, but yeah. Overall, like I mean, yeah, I definitely could do some of these faster, and hopefully, because this one should not take 8 minutes. But I have to go back to tapes and kind of see how much time I spent on kind of just testing, because I really did spend a lot of time just like waiting for the pending test to come. And I think looking at other people's submission times, like that they're doing it in parallel, so and they're just not submitting it. While maybe I just have to get better at that. That's part of the game. So yeah. Cool. And I'm going to do the code review right afterwards. Cool. Let's take a look at all the other solutions, see what I learned. Let's do off naive. Okay. Kind of did. I mean, yeah, parse one by one. I guess that's a way cleaner way of doing it. Just looking for two characters instead of kind of my janky way. Pretty smart move. Same thing, pretty much. I guess everyone did, or that could be the same thing, or they just have pretty identical code. Okay. And also easier on the index than I did, so that'd be very smart. Maybe I need to improve on that. Cool. Most people, even Lakers took a while on this one, though maybe it just submitted a little bit late because of the testing issues. Prefix sum, prefix XOR sum sounds about right. And it also seems like that's what everyone was doing. Don't know if really. That's actually beautiful, but but that's how you can get it in 1 minute. I mean, I got it. It still took me 4 minutes. I feel like I should have gotten it quicker. I took a little bit of time of reading, and maybe I could have gotten it if I didn't spend so much time on the first one. But that's okay. And I had an off by one, but and I added a few more tests, and it was kind of slowed down. So that was unfortunate. But yeah, this one was also straightforward. Sorting alphabetically aside. Yeah, same thing here. That's what they did. That's actually also kind of a cool way of doing it. I was looking at the wrong problem. I was like, I don't get what's going on here. Oh yeah, no, I just looked at that. I thought that was
I mean, I guess it all makes sense. Yeah, pretty good code. Yeah, I don't know if there's anything tricky about this one. But n equals 100 means it's short enough to do void Warsaw though. Good, 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 good. 8 minutes. Yeah, and this is just standard dynamic programming, so I imagine a lot of people did it. Oh, this is more intuitive than the way I did. I mean, my way is slightly not intuitive just because I know the answer. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, DP. And this is just unnecessarily tight, maybe. But yeah, and I was trying to do it bottoms up. I don't. I guess it would have been okay to do it top down. But yeah, cool. Yeah, overall a good contest. Finished 78th. Like someone like 6,000 or something. These things always take a little bit of time to update for the other server. Total rank isn't. But anyway, but yeah. Well, that's it for this week. Hope to see you next week. Make sure you click on all the fancy buttons. Yeah. Have a good night.